comes to the hospital for a checkup due to feeling unwell. The doctor's instructions seem strange to her and remind her of what happened last night at the bar. In the private room, she encountered the intoxicated Reed. Seeing Reed looking uncomfortable, she ends up helping him to his room. Once inside, she prepares a sobering soup and warm towel to continue caring for him, but Reed grabs her hand. Reed explains that he isn't drunk but was drugged and intends to pay Maria to fulfill his desires. Maria suggests $200,000 as payment. Wealthy Reed eventually agrees. Eventually, Maria receives $300,000 in her account. She buys a birth control pill from the pharmacy. Suddenly, she receives a call from her grandmother Sophia, urging her to raise money quickly. On this day, Maria sees Reed's arrival. To return the extra $100,000, she goes to Reed's private room. Reed recognizes her, signals Maria to help him play cards. However, Maria is not skilled at playing poker, so she is puzzled by the various card combinations. Just as she is at a loss, Reed rushes back and teaches her how to win this round. Curious about Maria and Reed's relationship, the others asks. Reed approaches Maria, pretends to need directions, and leads her away. When Reed asks Maria why she approached him, Maria simply wants to return the extra $100,000 he gave her. Reed is surprised. As Maria finishes work, the manager gives her the bonus for tonight, which conveniently solves her money-raising problem. Sophia is very surprised that Maria managed to raise the money in a short time, and Maria makes excuses to cover up her past. With pain, she is finally able to bury her mother in the cemetery. Remembering the scene of being driven away with her mother in her childhood, she finally understands why her mother wanted to be buried here, to be closer to her father. At the same time, Reed discovers Maria's presence. Suddenly, it starts to rain heavily. Reed watches Maria getting soaked in the rain and feels a bit soft-hearted, so he offers her a ride. Reed finds himself unknowingly drawn to the beautiful Maria. Maria is very grateful for Reed's help, while Reed acts quite aloof. She suddenly receives a job offer from the Reed group, and she is very happy. Reed and his friends come to the bar, and are surprised to hear the news of Maria's resignation. On the other hand, Maria smoothly starts her job at the Reed group. Opening the employee handbook, she unexpectedly discovers that the CEO is Reed himself. During the employee training session, Reed addresses Maria, who is taking notes in the back row. Their eyes meet, and they recognize each other. However, Maria answers Reed's question well, surprising everyone present. The assistant's verification reveals that Maria went through a standard interview process, dispelling his doubts. Maria has lost her appetite, and her colleagues, noticing her discomfort. She goes to the pharmacy to buy medicine, and is surprised to find it is expired. To check the birth control pills she bought last time, only to discover they are also expired. As expected, she is pregnant, prompting her decision to visit the hospital for confirmation. The hospital's tests confirm her suspicions. While feeling lost, she unexpectedly brushes past Reed. Reed notices and quickly approaches the doctor for information. Hearing about Maria's pregnancy and her appointment for an abortion from the doctor, a nervous Reed rushes out to find Maria's whereabouts. Just then, he receives a call from his grandfather Stephen and rushes back home urgently. However, it turns out that Stephen just wanted to set him up on a blind date with Judy. Reed sits down as Stephen tries to play matchmaker, urging Reed to take Judy out for a date. Displeased, Reed leaves. Reed quickly heads to Maria's house. Neighbor Anna rushes over to inform Maria that a luxury car is parked in front of the village. Maria hurries over upon hearing this. The villagers gossip and imply that she is associating with the privileged. Reed takes her to a fancy restaurant for dinner, and Maria is greatly surprised by the expensive dishes. After ordering, Reed brings up her pregnancy. In Maria's view, being unmarried, and she doesn't want to keep the baby. Maria feels unsure about handling the steak in front of her, and is mocked by guests at a nearby table. Reed, displeased, calls the restaurant manager. However, the guests at the neighboring table persist in being rude and confrontational. The restaurant owner intervenes, responding to Reed's anger by escorting the rude guests out of the restaurant. Furthermore, Reed attentively cuts the steak for Maria. Maria considers making a quick escape, but is informed that Reed will come to pick her up the next day. To facilitate more interaction, Stephen decides to arrange for her to join the Reed group, which makes Judy very happy. Reed arrives as planned to pick up Maria. During the car ride, Reed mentions his wish for Maria not to have an abortion. He firmly holds Maria's chin, proposes marriage to her, and hands her a contract. After much contemplation, Maria finally agrees to Reed's proposal. They hurriedly go to obtain their marriage license. Additionally, Reed wants Maria to move into his home, so he can easily arrange for a nanny and housekeeper for her. Seeing the grand mansion before her and the neatly arranged staff, Maria is shocked. After the nanny's duties are organized, Reed departs. Maria is amazed by the room prepared by Reed, filled with high-end clothes and accessories. The housekeeper then guides Maria to the bedroom for some rest. Holding the marriage certificate in her hand, Maria feels surreal. However, she ultimately decides to cancel the abortion procedure. Moreover, she calls Sophia to inform her that she will be away on a business trip for a while. Nutritionist Annie prepares a delicious and nutritious meal for Maria. After the meal, Maria intends to clean up the dishes, but Annie stops her. When Maria heads out to work, she finds that Reed has also arranged for a driver to pick her up. Sitting in the car, Maria feels pleasantly surprised. Just as Maria is about to leave, the driver hands her a packed lunch, which Reed had arranged for. During lunch break, Maria takes out the packed lunch, and her colleagues gather around, amazed by its richness. Suddenly, someone recognizes that Maria's packed lunch packaging is the same as Reed's. As Maria struggles to explain, Judy appears. Judy's words disperse the crowd and also relieve Maria. After a few sarcastic remarks, Judy leaves. Maria is curious about Judy's identity, and unexpectedly learns that Judy is a blind date arranged for Reed by Stephen. Lily asks Maria if she can bring an extra portion for her. Maria agrees, and upon returning home, she makes this request to Annie. The next day, she indeed brings an extra packed lunch. As Maria snaps back to reality, she sees Martin passing by. Maria recalls the past. She had intended to seek help about her mother's sickness from Martin, but unexpectedly overheard Martin and someone else belittling her. At the same time, she learned of her mother's passing. Overwhelmed with grief, she came to deeply resent Martin. However, Martin recognizes her. Faced with Martin's greeting, she chooses to ignore him and quickly leaves. Martin follows her, feeling remorseful, but Maria reveals that she is married. At that moment, the elevator doors open. Judy happily links arms with her elder brother, Martin. Martin greets Reed warmly, while Judy appears very intimate with Reed. Reed invites all for a meal. At the dining table, Reed continuously asks about Martin and Maria's relationship, making Maria very embarrassed. Reed tries hard to distance himself from Judy, but Martin keeps trying to set them up. After the meal, the four awkwardly walk outside the restaurant. Martin suggests taking Maria home, which makes Reed very angry. To conceal her relationship with Martin, Maria doesn't reveal her actual home address. Therefore, after Martin drops her off at Sophia's house, Maria takes a taxi back to Reed's place. Upon returning home, Annie brings a plate of strawberries, which turns out to be a gourmet treat of strawberries that Reed specially brought back for Maria on his return from a business trip. After Maria finishes bathing, she finds Reed waiting for her. Maria shyly looks for her pajamas, but is embraced by Reed. Shyly wanting to escape, Maria is stopped by Reed. After kissing her, he gently lifts her up. He places Maria on the bed and spends the night with her. At the dining table, Maria unexpectedly mentions that the food in the company canteen is somewhat unappetizing and unhealthy. Upon returning to the office, she hears the news that Reed has dismissed the canteen manager. This news surprises her greatly. Just then, Judy approaches with a stack of files, demanding that Maria completes this work by the end of the day. To meet the deadline, Maria is forced to work overtime. However, Reed finds out and actually comes to pick her up after work, draping his coat over her. Together, Reed and Maria leave, only to be seen by Judy. Exhausted, Maria falls asleep on the way home, and Reed gallantly fastens her seatbelt. As Maria sleeps, she instinctively holds onto Reed's arm. Maria discovers that all the clothes in her wardrobe have been replaced with a new batch. Reed had mistakenly thought she didn't like them, so he replaced them all. The driver takes Maria to work, and before leaving, hands her the umbrella to her, which Maria joyfully accepts. In the office, Casey shares the coffee bought by Judy with everyone present. Judy is curious about Maria not drinking coffee, but she unexpectedly notices that the umbrella on Maria's desk belongs to Reed. Angers Judy when she puts it down and walks away. Realizing that Maria's relationship with Reed is not simple, Judy orders someone to investigate Maria's details. Maria falls asleep after completing a proposal. Reed returns and is pleasantly surprised to see her excellent proposal. Maria wakes up from her dream about craving spare ribs, which amuses Reed. Maria mentions to Reed about the expensive clothes he prepared, which annoys him. After Maria lies down, he angrily grabs her hand and tells her not to worry too much, stating that if she refuses to wear them, he will just throw those clothes. On this day, Maria goes to work in exquisite new clothes and receives compliments from her colleagues. She visits Judy's office and hands over the proposal she prepared. After Maria leaves, Judy casually throws the proposal into the trash. To Maria's delight, the lunch for the day happens to be spare ribs, her favorite. During a meeting, Reed harshly criticizes Judy's proposal, pointing out its lack of professionalism, which leaves Judy feeling upset. Not only that, Reed even suggests that Judy seek advice from Maria. Embarrassed by Reed's criticism, Judy deliberately knocks Maria to the ground when they meet. Seeing this, Lily passes by and immediately helps Maria, continuously explaining and defusing the situation to calm Judy down. Due to losing face at the meeting and being blamed by Reed, Judy deliberately makes things difficult for Maria, and demands that she complete a new proposal alone. Still feeling uncomfortable from the fall, Maria unexpectedly encounters Martin. Martin notices Maria's injury, kindly helps her with the wound, but Reed witnesses this. Reed walks over with a jealous look, puzzled by Maria's husband's neglect of her, but Maria is too afraid to tell the truth. Just as Maria is about to leave, Judy comes out, happily linking arms with Reed. Martin immediately takes Maria to the hospital. Reed is deeply troubled by Martin taking Maria away. Fortunately, Maria is fine after the checkup. Reed notices the band-aid on Maria's injury, and feeling jealous that Martin helped with it. Maria clarifies their relationship to him, and Reed hugs her tightly, informing her that she can trust him. Suddenly, Maria notices a wound on Reed's hand. She delicately tends to his wound. On that day, Reed and Judy enter the company together. Employees notice the band-aid on Reed's hand and speculate if he has a girlfriend. Judy, feeling particularly jealous, secretly takes a photo and instructs someone to find out who the owner of the band-aid is. Maria wants to buy an additional umbrella that is exactly the same, but she unexpectedly finds out that there isn't the same model available online. She asks the driver, only to realize that it is Reed's custom-made one, which is very expensive. Reed accompanies Maria to her prenatal checkup, and the doctor happily announces that Maria is expecting twins. The doctor goes over pregnancy precautions and suggests Maria add a contact. Seizing the opportunity, Reed adds Maria's contact information. Maria adds a cute note to Reed, but Reed sweetly labels her as wife. Maria is working overtime, and as the night grows late, she falls asleep from exhaustion. Reed enters the room, sees Maria asleep, gently picks her up, places her on the bed, and carefully tucks her in. Reed views the proposal Maria wrote, witnessing her progress and abilities. The following day, Maria asks Judy about the feasibility of her proposal. Judy doesn't say much, just asks Maria to leave and covertly puts the proposal under her own name. Judy's past proposal is rejected, requiring a rediscussion during the meeting. Judy attempts to exclude Maria from the meeting, but is informed by the CEO that all staff must participate. Martin and Reed shake hands amicably, indicating good progress in the project. Reed then announces the start of the meeting, where everyone reports on their respective responsibilities. Suddenly, Maria starts feeling dizzy. Reed notices Maria's discomfort and promptly pauses the meeting, instructing the assistant to prepare some snacks. Judy and her assistant Casey are discussing Maria and Reed's couple shirts, as well as the previous band-aids, suspecting a romantic relationship between the two. Regardless, they both want to teach Maria a lesson. Snacks are being served, and colleagues happily thank the boss. Casey intentionally prepares one less portion and apologizes to Maria. Lily suggests they share theirs with her. As Reed enters, he notices Maria has no snack, becomes furious, and questions the efficiency of Casey's department. He instructs his subordinate to give his snack to Maria. Witnessing this, Judy looks extremely displeased. Reed's assistant brings the snack to Maria and apologizes. Reed then announces a penalty for Casey, deducting 3 months of her performance bonus. Judy confidently presents the stolen proposal, but Reed recognizes it as the one prepared by Maria. Reed intentionally asks Maria for the truth, but Maria, in order to protect Judy's reputation, does not tell the truth. Faced with Reed's questions, Judy feels extremely guilty. Maria is very familiar with her proposal, so she confidently answers the question. She not only analyzed the data provided by Martin's company, but also conducted on-site investigations. Everyone present is very surprised at Maria's professionalism. Judy becomes even more anxious. Martin immediately explains the reason for the falsification and promises that future cooperation will be more honest. Due to the incident, Judy has been removed from her position as department manager, which has left her extremely angry. Despite Casey's advice, Judy angrily slaps her. Before leaving, Judy instructs Casey to come up with a better plan to get rid of Maria. After work, Maria and Lily chat as they walk. Unexpectedly, Martin appears. Maria initially considers refusing Martin's invitation, but after some thought, she decides to be honest with Martin and cut ties with him. Martin seeks Maria's forgiveness, but she is not willing to forgive him, and is determined to sever all contact with him. As they exit the restaurant, Martin suggests taking Maria home. Thinking about the difficulty of finding a taxi nearby, Maria eventually agrees. Just as they are about to depart, Martin unexpectedly receives a call from Reed. Martin rushes to the bar and finds Judy, who is intoxicated and persistently bothering Reed. Faced with Judy's behavior, Reed is very distressed and asks Martin to take them home. Inside the car, Judy keeps asking Reed not to leave her. Martin, seeing Judy's unrequited love, tries to bring them together, but Reed openly admits that he is married. Martin decides to advise Judy firmly. Upon reaching their destination, Maria quickly exits the car. Unexpectedly, Reed suddenly appears and takes her hand. At that moment, a flower vendor appears. The vendor praises their beautiful matching outfits, which delights Reed. He happily buys a bouquet of flowers and presents it to Maria. After returning home, Maria discovers that Reed has prepared a surprise birthday party for her, which surprises her greatly. It turns out that Reed quietly remembered her birthday and intentionally arranged a birthday surprise with many gifts. The next day, she goes back to work at the company, and her colleagues are discussing her performance at the meeting the day before. Not only that, they blame Maria for Judy's dismissal and sarcastically taunt her. Suddenly, she receives a phone call from Casey informing her to come to the CEO's office. It turns out that due to Maria's outstanding performance at the meeting yesterday, combined with Judy's removal from the managerial position, they are considering promoting Maria to department manager. Maria is pleasantly surprised, but as the collaborative project is not finalized yet, she decides to wait until after the deal is sealed. As Maria is about to leave, Casey suggests wanting to treat her to a meal, which Maria agrees to. In the restaurant, Casey tries to inquire about Maria's relationship with Reed. Maria, not wanting to reveal her marital status, falsely claims that she and Reed are just relatives. Unexpectedly, Judy is eavesdropping nearby. They think they have tricked Maria, but Maria cleverly avoids telling the truth. After thanking Casey for the hospitality, Maria leaves. Judy approaches, ponders Maria's words, ultimately believes that Maria and Reed are just relatives, and decides to treat her better in the future. Thinking she knows the truth, Judy approaches Maria, trying to get closer to her, being very friendly and bringing an expensive skincare set as a gift for Maria. Colleagues are surprised to that, and gather around to see the gifts. Judy happily says she wants to go find Reed, and invite him for dinner in the evening. Martin stays silent for a moment, stops Judy, and informs her that Reed is already married. Judy is incredulous, extremely emotional, and rushes out to find Reed. She locates Reed and persistently questions him about his wife, incessantly pressing him for answers. Onlookers start discussing, with Maria curiously peeking from inside the car. At that moment, Martin arrives and intercepts the frantic Judy. At the gathering, when Reed enters, everyone warmly welcomes him. Observing the wealthy attendees at the banquet, Judy intentionally questions Reed, expressing her confusion and asking if he is really married. This surprises everyone, and they are curious about Reed's spouse. Reed openly admits that he is married and receives blessings from his friends. Facing his friends' good wishes, Reed smiles and accepts them. Judy, unable to ask anything, feeling very unwilling, decides to call Reed's grandfather for help. Reed remains composed, takes the call, and reveals he has feelings for his wife. Judy, hearing this, is unable to believe it, crying as she runs out. Watching this unfold, Maria nervously asks Reed if they should go after her. Reed ignores the suggestion, and then takes Maria home. The next day, colleagues learn from the news that the CEO Reed is married, and they are all very surprised. Additionally, Casey announces that the company will organize a trip. On the way to the trip, Reed suddenly clutches his stomach, and Maria, concerned, asks him what's wrong. Reed weakly mentions that he has a stomach ache and feels very uncomfortable. Maria takes care of Reed as he lies down to rest. At that moment, Maria receives a call from a friend and goes out to meet her. On the way, she is seen by Judy and Martin. Martin recognizes Maria, reminisces about the past, and tells Judy that Maria is their former neighbor. Judy realizes that Maria had deceived her. Maria comes back with some groceries and starts cooking for Reed. Reed, who has woken up, watches Maria bustling around and waits quietly. Maria comes out with a bowl of porridge, caring, and asks Reed if he would like some. Reed, looking at the porridge in the bowl, feels warm inside, slowly approaches Maria, lifts her onto the table, wanting to kiss her. Maria shyly refuses. Reed carries Maria back to the bedroom, gently tucks her in, caresses her face, and ensures she rests well. When Maria wakes up, Reed comes to escort her and takes her downstairs to join the activities. Reed is adjusting his cuffs when the assistant brings over the porridge that Maria just cooked. Judy, seeing this, becomes very angry. In the distance, Maria's father, Henry, also walks over to join the banquet. Judy proudly announces a big news in front of everyone. She points out that Maria is an illegitimate child of the Henry family. The journalists flock over to interview Maria. At this moment, Henry comes over, extremely happy and excited, expressing that he has finally found her. However, when Maria sees Henry, she feels angry and sad, blaming Henry's mother for kicking her and her own mother out of the house. Henry feels very guilty, expresses regret to Maria, explains the past events and hugs Maria. Judy, witnessing this scene, is angry. An enraged Judy rushes forward to harm Maria, but is stopped by Henry and Reed's assistant. Reed steps forward, takes the opportunity, and announces in front of everyone that Maria is his wife. He promises Henry that he will protect her. Henry comfortingly joins their hands together. The event is not over yet. Reed leads Maria and at the banquet, announces to the journalists and employees that Maria is his wife. It's a belated confession as Reed kneels down in front of Maria, conducts a proposal ceremony, places a diamond ring on Maria's finger, expressing that he is deeply in love with her.